Hello everybody and bright blessings. Lady Leeanna here with another edition of Wicca for today. And today I wanted to talk to you about Mabon. Mabon is only a month away, and by the time you get this, who knows, maybe a few days or a week or whatnot. But right now, at current time of making the video, it's a month away. And I like to have my video of a holiday out at least within a few weeks, preferably a month. Have it out there so you could be viewing it, you know, and readying yourself before the actual holiday comes, so that you'll know a lot about what to do and how to celebrate your holiday. Anyway, happy Mabon. This is my second Mabon video, although I've been very lazy about making the holiday videos. Usually caught up and all of that, but I'm going to try to change that for you guys. Anyway, happy autumn equinox. And yes, we're getting ready for winter now. It's the second harvest. It's the middle harvest. And it's the last harvest, actually, for grains. They're being brought in right now, you know, to prevent them from dying out or going bad. Alright, I'll tell you briefly the story of Persephone and Demeter. Now, Demeter worked upon the earth and would come forward to bring forth vegetation and foliage and crops, to beautify the earth and ready it for humanity to feast upon it. And a lot of times she would bring Persephone with her, but would never let her beautiful daughter out of her sight, her beloved daughter. So Persephone would come with her and would play in the fields around her, but always within sight. And one day, Persephone wandered off without Demeter's knowledge while she was busy. And when Demeter thought about it and looked up and looked around, she saw no sight of Persephone whatsoever. And she began to call to her and wander around looking for her, hollering her name, Persephone, but never heard anything. In the meanwhile, Hades, which was the king of the underworld and the brother of Zeus, he had been watching her for a long time and had heard of her much before that, but fell in love with her, with Persephone, and so longed to have her as his queen. He watched her, and eventually, at this time, had came up and had snatched her away to take her into the underworld and make her his own. So she had vanished. This why Demeter now cannot find her anywhere. And so she continues calling to her, very frantic, very scared and sad. And she went and she cried to the god of the sun, the god of day, and asked him, "Have you seen my daughter Persephone?" And he said, "Yes. Hades, the king of the underworld, has taken her below to become his queen." And this frightened her horribly. And so she went and she pled to Zeus. You know, what can I do? And he said that there's not a lot that we can do at the moment. You know. So Demeter, she went back into her own world, closed down and began to grieve, and the earth began to suffer for it. All of the plants and foliage began to die. The trees' leaves on them began to fall and didn't bring forth fruit. She was so distraught and so at a loss about her daughter. She knew now where her daughter was, but knew not what to do whatsoever. And so she continued to grieve. And Zeus above noticed the earth suffering for it. And he said, the earth can't go on like this. Men will die. Talking to do with men and women in kind of layman's terms here. But men will die if nothing is done to restore the earth back to its originality, back to where it should be. And therefore Zeus made a visit to Hades. By then, Persephone, who had refused food for so long while in the underworld, finally gave in hunger and ate part of a pomegranate. Not all of it, but several seeds, 6 to be exact. And Hades told Zeus when Zeus confronted him, but she's eaten from the underworld here. And you know the laws, you know the rules. And Zeus says, well, what has she eaten? And Hades says, 6 pomegranate seeds. And Zeus said, well, therefore, she will be in the underworld for 1 month for each of these seeds that she has eaten. But the rest of the time she must be upon the earth. Well, the earth is getting ready to die out, and we are fixing to witness the time in which Demeter grieves for her daughter, and at which the earth will look glum and dead, but so that all the foliage that is here right now can die down and turn to dust, and all of its nutrients can go back into the earth to bring from itself new life when spring comes again. That's what it's about. It's the time when the goddess dies out for a time, and the god comes forth being the predominator. Basically, what I suggest you do is go to your grocery store and acquire a gourd, a miniature pumpkin, an Indian ear corn, an apple, and an orange. Things like that. You know, keep it light to like 5 fruits, okay? And get you a wicker basket. Go home and create you a bit of a cornucopia with those 5 fruits. 5 or more fruits. Whatever you want to do. And go out and get a pine broom off of a tree. Get a little bitty branch with a little pine pom-pom on the end of it. And take it and stick it into your wicker basket and mash it in with your fruits. Also, get you a pine cone or 2 and put it in there as well. And if you can find them, a few acorns. Create you a little cornucopia that is all natural. Don't use plastic and artificial cornucopias. Those are bad for the earth. You are actually encouraging the production of plastics and all of that, and it's not good by any means. But these fruits and things that you have bought and that you have put together as a cornucopia, even the wicker in the basket, it is a natural element and it'll go to the earth. You know, it will eventually deteriorate, or the animals will eat it, or whatnot. But it's a perfect offering at the end of your ceremony. So make you a cornucopia out of those 5 fruits, out of that broom of straw from your pine tree, and a couple of pine cones, and if you can find them, acorns and so forth. You know, and set it in the center of your table. And get you a burgundy pillar candle, preferably. If you can't, get a taper candle. get a brown pillar candle, or if you can't, a brown taper candle. Brown and burgundy are so readily available in your stores. They're so easy to find, and they're the perfect colors for your altar on Mabon. The burgundy that represents life, in spite of everything dying upon the earth, which is represented by your brown candle. They accent and they complement your table good. They say something. And that's what I always encourage you to do, is say something with everything that you do. It's very important. And you may anoint now these candles, rub oil all over it, and I suggest like a pine smell on your burgundy candle. And you know, you might take and put like a nutty, woodsy type oil smell, which is kind of synonymous with your oils that you find from like Azure Green, to do with your seasons. Okay, your Samhain oil, I believe, is very nutty and all of that, but Beltane definitely is. Either way, your seasonal oils that are named after specific holidays for pagans are very good oils to use on these candles. But rub oils, 2 different kinds, 1 on each if you can. If you can't, just rub broom straw all over both of them and then light them up. Now you want to have tea made, enough tea to serve yourself, any guests that you may have, and pour a cup for your goddess. And you may even want to invite the god too, who is getting ready to come in and overtake the holiday. You know, but you want to have enough tea to serve all of your guests and yourself, as well as whatever deities that you have there. 1 cup for the goddess, 1 cup for the god. And that means 1 for each of them, not 1 together. Okay, and serving tea. Okay, and as well as you may want to have some kind of a dish that you would yourself have with your guest, and you would want to put a plate in front of your goddess as well as your god, also later to be given to the earth, as well as your cornucopia fruits and veggies. Okay, but alright, to kick this thing off, you want to make sure you have a very light, festive pagan music that generally calls to the goddess. And there are some very good Call of the Goddess chants on YouTube, as well as other pagan good music that would be just right for your needs. But you're going to kick this thing off with a praise to the higher power, thanking them for all that they've done for you throughout your year that was fruitful with vegetation and foliage, because you know that it's all dying out now. You're giving thanks for everything that has been taking so far for your table, that has fed your family and so forth. But you want to give thanks to them for that in praise and prayer with everybody that's at your table. Next, you want to call to the guardians of the watchtowers. It's very important to do this because they will stabilize your structure and help you to erect your temple, that will assure that there will be no negative interactions from dark forces or energies around you on the outside of your house. And this is very important. You want the gods and goddesses to feel that they can come and celebrate with you without worries of feeling anything dark, negative, or evil around them. You know, you want to ready their house. And that's what you're preparing really in any ritual, believe it or not. Nonetheless, next you take the tea that you have served. You drink the tea. You enjoy it. You talk about whatever you want to throughout tea, but make it no more than 30 minutes. You want to have time and room for everything else that you have to do. And at the end of tea, you want to say some words as the host, or as someone at this gathering, or if you're alone, you want to say some words to uplift the spirit sing with the music going on in the background, whatever it takes to lift up the spirit, and then get everybody dancing around the table, just briefly to stir up some energy. You know, the goddess will want that so that she can carry it with her through. She can carry your love of her through the winter and dead season to where she's grieving for her daughter, Persephone. And you'll want Persephone to take that energy with her through to the underworld so she can keep it close to her and it can secure her, making her feel close to you. Now, after you've done the stirring up of the energy, you want to release it at the end with the flail of the arms. Okay? And a high praise for everybody to say. Just praise the almighty deities. Thank you for all of your givings. Thank you for being with us on this day. Next, you and whatever guest may be with you, if any, will want to trail out, each of you holding a candle in one hand, and one of you in the opposite hand carrying the cornucopia, and the other one carrying the tea that was poured for the goddess, carrying it out to give it to the earth. You know, or one carrying both candles and the other carrying a tray with the tea on it that was poured for all the deities. If there are more people, you can spread it out among you. But a little train of people with candlelight going outside to give this stuff to the earth. And you would say a little prayer of, for all that I take from thee, do I give back. For all that you give to me, do I praise your name. Do I give thanks to thee. And then you let it go. You set it on the ground. Or you place it diligently upon a fire. And that's what I do. I like to give whatever I give to the gods and goddesses. I like to give it to the fire. I like to pour it onto an open fire if you're able to have one where you're at. You know, if you're not, you can just set it up on the earth neatly and leave it, you know, and pour the cups around it of tea, whatever was set for the gods and goddesses. But I gave to the fire. I found this nice big bush with like 3 or 4 miniature pumpkins all over it, and it was just so gorgeous, you know. And I didn't take those, you know. I let them stay there and fall back to the earth. But I acknowledged that that was the goddess giving those to me, acknowledging me. And with the number that was there, it was for stability and foundation, you know. And I felt very blessed by that. It doesn't have to be done perfectly. There is no mistakes. I mean, as long as your heart is in the right place, you won't mess it up. I promise. But merry part and bright blessings to you.